Shut up, Joe! And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode, Josh and we go ahead and have a great conversation coming up for you starting on Monday on radio stations around the world and on podcast episodes worldwide on wherever you get your podcasts, where we talk about the VGAs in great detail and Sony's Spider-Verse being finally laid to rest with the failure of Kraven the Hunter. We talk about that on the PCC. Later this week, it'll be Inside Sports Fantasy Football. How is your fantasy football team doing? I've got two in the playoffs right now, so kind of nervous on one. Already won on another. So, yes, definitely looking forward to hearing your thoughts and hearing our thoughts of the guys right there on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. John Costa's right next to me. He's the man behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, what are you doing, man? Like and subscribe to it. Go ahead and make sure you're part of what he does each and every time out at Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Indeed, talk of the NBA and the Lakers right there for you. And speaking of the Lakers, the lakerholics solved the crime. They solved the mystery of the vanishing LeBron James. Yes, if you saw one of the highest rated Lakerholics episodes of all time, you got to hear their thoughts on LeBron, on the Lakers, and so much more. And also, of course, Sherlock Holmes, aka Laker Tom, and his crazy trade scenarios. Go ahead and check out more at lakerholics.com. Plus, also, well, of course, Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV, who covers the Dodgers and the Lakers, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, Yo, John McCalian Channel, of course, Alfred Esmond, Stone Hansen, @report_court, of course, the Legend 350, all these great people. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to like and subscribe here. We're closing in on the big 2,000. We're about 45 short. But you can make it happen. You can get us over 2K. Not like NBA 2K, but 2K. 2K subscribers. And you can make that happen by subscribing today. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we go on the air with another great Lakers Fast Break podcast. And last but not least, membership right there for you. Just $2.99 a month gets you extra articles, extra videos, polls, emojis. You know, John, if you want a John emoji in your life,
come on, man.
There's no better place to go than being a member today for just $2.99 a month right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers came into tonight 13-12, not looking great. Things were falling apart. Nobody could find out what's going on. Just heard rumors and speculation for days on what was going on with LeBron. Thus, I had the guys do a show yesterday on the vanishing LeBron. Well, I guess maybe it's a little bit overblown on LeBron because it turned out he was going to see how it goes game time. Looked like it was a foot injury that was causing him some issues. I don't know what was causing the personal issues. I think we may never know. But hopefully we will sometime down the road. But yes, for now, LeBron is back in the lineup as they faced off against the streaking Memphis Grizzlies, who were very hot coming in, very competitive, second in the West. Looked like a team that was really getting strong. Have some nice depth. Of course, they have the three young key pieces in Triple J, Desmond Bane, and John Morant. But what would happen when the Lakers faced off against them tonight with, of course, AD, LeBron, and AR back in the lineup? Well, tonight, from the get-go, the Lakers got off to a good start, something we've been talking about for a while. JJ had a game plan in place, and it looked like, for the most part, for three quarters, it got executed pretty good as the Lakers started off well and never looked back. They were up by 18 at the half. And despite a second half that was not the greatest in the world, they still managed to go ahead and fend the Grizzlies off for a 116-110 victory, never allowing the Grizzlies to fully catch up. Again, a good performance defensively, holding the Grizzlies to under 40% shooting, under 30 actually right around 32% three-point shooting. So yes, they didn't have a good day at all. And despite our poor performance from outside, we still shot 47% overall and got the job done. We were out in transition a little bit more today. Got back on defense a little bit better today. Did everything a little bit better today, and a cause for the victory. 116 to 110. The Lakers are now 14 and 12 in the Western Conference. And if the schedule and the standings are adjusted, they will be tied with the Clippers for ninth place in the Western Conference. And here today to discuss that and so much more, including the upcoming games near him in the Sacramento area, is a good man indeed. He is the mastermind behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. It is, of course, John Costa. John, great to have you here. Looking forward to good conversation. BD, what's up, BD on Twitch? Just said that they had to get in a good game before the behind the scenes show on Netflix. Okay, all right, whatever it is.
What's that?
Yeah, behind this. Well, they have a behind the Lakers up on their own channel all the time, but nobody really cares about the backstage Lakers show anymore. Gustavo says the worst performance of the Grizzlies all season, first half. Yes, it was, but some of that is because the Lakers came out to play today, and that first half I think really set the tone and allowed the Lakers to just, kind of falter the second half. But you know what? Hey, the first half was so overwhelming. That's what got it done.
Yeah. And first of all, what's going on, everybody? Everybody here in the chat, Intel Wild, um, Gustavo, Adam, Xbox, what's up, everybody? Happy to be here. But as far as this game, I want to, point to one of the comments that we had in playback. So for everybody that was, with us in playback, appreciate you guys for joining us. We were talking about how in the first half we were having such a dominant first half. And we were like, watch, we're gonna poop the bed in the second half. And I was like, man, you know what? Like, as long as both me and Sean said, as long as we can have a dominant third quarter, outscore them in the third quarter, we don't even gotta have their foot on their necks all game. We'll be able to cruise in the fourth quarter. But man, we made this all of a sudden a way harder game than it had to be here, bro. It's crazy. What's going on, Gustavo? Crazy, bro. Like we had this game in the bag. One of those games that, yes, we got the win, and I love the win, but one of those games that I think we could have got, could have gave AD some easy early rest today if we would have been able to put the game out in that third quarter. I don't have the quarter by quarter stats just yet because the NBA takes some time to drop that on
Well,
their
they got
website.
outscored 31 to 22 in that third quarter, just to give you a heads up.
So yeah, that I saw, but I want to see like the player by player breakdown and how that quarter went, because that right there was where the game really got out of hand, and I was really starting to get worried. I'm not gonna lie, guys, when it was like I think like 1 minute 15 seconds left, and we were down. We were up by like 9, and I was like, man, guys, like this could easily flip like that, like in 3 possessions. So. I was worried, but hey, I'm happy we got the win. Just want to make sure that we don't go back to that mindset of like, if you have a dominant first quarter, like you don't even have to have a dominant entire second half. Put your foot on their necks in that third quarter, put them out, let LeBron and AD get some good easy rest, and let's get ready for the next game. But hey, a win is a win, especially for a team like this. So happy to be here, guys.
Wouldn't say shut down is the word you should use. BTS, Max Christie, even though he was terrible on the offensive end, defensively, he did put some good things together. He did play very well on the defensive end. Cam Reddish also provided some good help when he came off the bench defensively. Both those guys were not exactly lighting the world on fire on the offensive end. And again, it's about finding consistent players that can do things on both ends of the floor. I think that they're still trying to figure that out. But Max Christie, again, despite the fact he only scored 7 points in the game, again, he found a way to go ahead and play good defense and make a contribution on John Morant, on Jalen Wells at times, on Desmond Bain. Both those guys struggled. John Morant, 6 for 21 in the game. Desmond Bain, 3 for 8. Yes, a lot of the credit should go on for that as far as the Lakers' in-your-face defense. The perimeter defense we've been waiting all year to have finally showed up tonight, John.
Man, that's what we're looking for, Joe. That's what we're looking for a long time. Now, I wouldn't say in exactly shut down. Yeah, like how you said, Joe. I wouldn't say shut down, but what I would say is that
They played
the
very well. They played very
they
well defensively.
there
Yes.
you go, right? They played very well defense, but at the same time, I do think that the Lord was on our side today, and the Lord gave us a lot of favor because I mean, Sean kept mentioning in playback the Grizzlies are the number 3 team in the NBA for fast break points. They ended the game. Let me see. I'm gonna end the game with 15 fast break points. They averaged 18. They ended the game with 20 turnovers. So they literally ended the game with more turnovers than they had fast break points. So not only so we did play some good defense, and I want to give us credit for that. But the Grizzlies had a really bad game comparatively to their standards, especially when you look at the first half. I mean, somebody earlier in the chat said it. They had one of their worst first half all season long. But hey,
No, BTS. It's not the worst game he's played in his life. Yes, we know it's 6 for 21. Yes, we just said that. But no, that's not the worst game in his life. I bet you looked at the stats, you'll find a game that he's played worse in his life than this. So yes.
yeah,
Yeah, don't be so
I mean,
broad on this. Yes.
the man's been alive for a long time now.
Yes,
Hey,
yes,
there you.
yes. There's Sean. Yes, obviously him and John were, and also Xbox were great parts heading up our playback tonight, playback.tv/ Lakers Fast Break. But John, before I get it over to Sean, I'll say that 10 times fast. John, before I get it over to Sean, I want to ask you this again with the defense performance, because perimeter defense has been something the Lakers have had really a problem with, having one of the worst defenses in the NBA. Max has been spotty at times with his performances, both here and there. I know Adam said he does something almost in every game to contribute. I don't think I would go that far, but lately he's been giving you a couple good games on one side of the court or another. He just needs to put it together. He's not been able to put it together on both sides of the floor because he was good offensively. He's not as good defensively. Today he was good defensively, good offensively. But again, the Lakers needing the perimeter defense are looking anywhere. And right now, Max Christie is probably the guy that they're going to have to do it with right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm the type of guy where look, like I'll bash on you when you need to be bashed on, but I'll give you a credit when you need to have credit. And I've been giving Max Christie credit more. I mean, I'm not gonna say more than anyone because
Well, is he
there's
now an NBA
there's
player? Because you and Joe and
uh,
Stone said,
I still would rather use that roster spot elsewhere. But what I will say is that this is like the best stretch of games that I've seen from Max Christie really throughout his career. Like I was saying last year, man, it was not an NBA player. Like and I really did, I really believed it, and I really stood on it. And now he's starting to bring something to the table where you at least do something above average. Last year, he did everything average. He was not overly great at one thing. And I was like, man, it's going to be hard being in the league full of players that are great, and you can't do one thing that's great. But now he's getting a lot better at just not making mistakes, physicality, his rebounding for a guard. I'm loving that, and his defense. He's just learning the game more, right? He's learning the game more. So I love to see it. So I got to give him his credit where credit is due. Uh, but with that being said, still, I am going to need a little bit more than 7 points in 28 minutes. If you're going to be out there and you're going to give us that, you're going to give us 28 minutes. I've already said this so many times. The NBA is me and Sean actually just talked about this on the playback. The NBA is going towards a place where you can't be a liability out there, dog. You got to at least be able to do a little bit of everything. And 28 minutes and 7 points isn't necessarily what I'm looking for, to be honest with you. But on the defensive end, I love it.
Once again, the Lakers do win. 116 to 110. It is John Costa, Clutch Talk on Lakers Corner, and of course, Magic Man Sean Grice, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching, listening. BTS, yes, Bronny scored 30 on Thursday. Check out what he did on Friday in the same town, in the same city, against the same team. You'll find the stats somewhat striking to what you just quoted earlier in the show about John Morant, about being 6 for 20, because he was 6 for 20. So are you saying he had the worst game of his life too? Ponder that one, my friend. But again, here is today with me is, of course, the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by and head up our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break along with John Costa and Xbox. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Sean, great to have you here. See, I knew I couldn't get it 10 times, but I did get Sean now the time after. But Sean, great to have you here. Want to ask your thoughts on AD, who had a dominant performance, even hurt his shoulder when he took a fall. 15 to 22, 40 points, got to the 40. Told you he would. 16 rebounds, a block shot. Basically, when he was in there, did it all except for shoot 3-pointers. And for the love of God, can we just have him stop shooting 3-pointers? I really hate to keep on saying I told you so, but I'm telling you guys so. Do not have him shoot 3-pointers. I really don't want to have to go ahead and say it. I have to keep on telling you that. Nick, as far as the super chat, he said Lakers could use a serviceable center like McGee. JaVale McGee's not coming out of that retire home anytime soon. Okay, he's old. But I agree with you. Coloco is not lighting the world on fire. Let's just get that straight out of there. But thank you for the super chat, Nick. Truly appreciate it. Your thoughts on AD's dominant performance? Of course, he did his standard, falls on the ground, gets hurt, looked like he's out for 10 years, and then he comes back out of the locker room and ends up, helping us win the game. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to get away with it, but AD, when he plays like this, it keeps the Lakers in the game. And obviously, in that first half, it can help the Lakers get control of this game.
Absolutely, Gerald. I thought that I was a little befuddled about an hour before the game, seeing that JJ Redick was experimenting with a new starting lineup that featured Max Christie. And I was wondering, well, there has to be some point to this. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. And shortly halfway through the second quarter, I found myself just thinking simply, and I think it's a matter of trying to slow down the pace of the game, where Anthony Davis isn't expending as much energy on the defensive end, Gerald, when the Lakers need him on both ends, not just one at this point in time. So I thought that the Lakers did a good job of controlling the pace. Memphis is third in the NBA in terms of fast break points. Only Denver and Chicago score more. And I thought the Lakers did a good job of limiting their opportunities by actually having great offensive possessions, Gerald. Even if the shot didn't go in, there seemed to be a purpose in the first half with the sets that were running. And then lo and behold, the third quarter comes around and the Lakers are up by 18 and number 10 checks in for Memphis. And when number 10 checks in for Memphis, somebody should always be on number 10. Who plays number 10 for Memphis, Gerald and John?
Be Luke Kennard, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. It's Luke Kennard. So you got to make
the guy
sure.
that they kept on leaving open and he kept on making like easy 3-pointers. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, number 10 would be one of the keys if you were going to try and limit Memphis's ability to attack. And lo and behold, the third quarter bared no results that way, Gerald. And then the fourth quarter rolled around. They kind of got their heads out of their behinds a little bit, and we managed to squeak out a win against a very good team. Shouldn't have been it should have been more elementary than it was, but I'll take it, especially with AD. We'll see how the shoulder feels in the morning. Hopefully, it was just some kind of intercostal thing going on. It's nothing too serious with any of the joints.
So let me get it back to you, John. When you see a performance like this in the first half, focusing more on the defense, obviously trying to do what they can to play a concerted effort. I think the fact that Friday's game had really something to do with it as far as how they played there, and then you come here. I know that Joe and many others have earmarked this for a loss. I can't say I blame them for doing so, but we get the win. Do you think this can start something? I know that the Lakers have several days off before they go to Sacramento and play a doubleheader there. One game, both 2 games in a course of 3 days in Sacramento. Do you think we can use this as far as momentum? Because I said before, if they go to Sacramento and they sweep over a 500 Sacramento team, I mean, Mike Brown could be in a lot of trouble. I don't expect it to happen, but if it does happen, that could help out the Lakers and hurt Sacramento. I can't hear you, man. Your mic went off. So, nope, 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 nope. I know this. We should happen, to Joe more often, but no, we can't hear you.
What about now?
Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go.
All right. Like I was saying, yeah, I doubt it'll happen because I know the Kings are really rocking here with Mike Brown. But what I will say is I do think that this can help us build a little bit of momentum.
Okay. Oh, now his motive, Sean is doing the Joe Soro thing.
You can always.
Oh, your modem is doing the dancing ping pong thing like Joe's always does.
Oh, I'm lagging.
Now you go. Now you're okay. We can hear you.
Okay.
You got 4 bars now. You're going back up.
Oh
Okay.
man. Okay. Look,
were you downloading something?
I was not downloading anything.
Okay, because that sometimes happens to me when I do something. But go ahead, my friend.
What I will say is this: I do think that this win can help us get some momentum. I'm glad we have sack 2 games straight. Don't have to worry about the travel rest. So not only do we have the days off, and then we have the game against Sac, but then we got no game in between then, so no travel. And I'm hoping that all these days off will be able to help us be able to secure some easy wins. And if we can pull off, we got this win and get these next 2 wins against Sac. Come on, man. Turn things around a little bit.
A little bit. I don't want to. Even if they go and they sweep Sacramento, Sean, I don't want to go ahead and say that's like a miraculous thing. But yeah, it is a good start if they go in there and they do sweep. Absolutely. If they prevent them from lighting the beam even once, Sean, a split. That's what I'm thinking will probably happen. I think it's hard to beat an NBA team in their home arena twice. So I'm thinking maybe if they get the split out, I think we should be able to be satisfied with that. But
yay, a subscriber.
Shaya, thank you for subscribing. Truly appreciate it. But Sean, again, like John said, it would be a really, really big thing as far as for the Lakers if they could find something. Another 3 days off again before they go ahead and play against Sacramento. That would really help and go a long way to maybe trying to resurrect this season even a little bit. I know fans out there are trying to just cling on to something. They don't want to hear the Joes or the me's or the Stone Hansen who always say this season's over, this season's over, this season's over. The Lakers are like 9th, 10th, 11th, whatever you want to put them. They want to cling on to something. If they win at least one of the games in Sacramento, maybe you got the start of something there.
Well, I mean, Gerald, at this point in time, LeBron would have no excuse for that back-to-back with Sacramento. He would have, at that point, played 1 game in about, I think, 11 days. So he'll be well-rested for that one. As far as Anthony Davis is concerned, Gerald, another story with AD and Sabonis. Other than one time this year, Sabonis has really ate his lunch and stolen his lunch money every time they played. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I don't want to speculate. For some reason, it's confounding to me. Anyway, look, Sacramento isn't the same, I would say, like, sneaky team they have been for the past couple of years. They've been hit with the injury bug this year. They've had a myriad of issues with their fourth quarter play because DeMar wants to close out games, Gerald, but the best closer, and all due respect to Warriors fans and Steph Curry, the best closer in the game right now is De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox should be closing out games, but DeMar DeRozan and Mike Brown feel that DeMar should be closing out games. Is creating a big conflict. And I've told you before, I think it's going to blow up eventually. So if you could take advantage of that instability in Sacramento, you should, because it's right for the picking.
So with that, again, it is the Lakers winning 116-110. It is Gerald Glassford along with the matching man Sean Grice, and of course John Costa from Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Yes, BD, Stephen Curry still closes games for the Golden State Warriors. I know our fan base was kind of upset already at the trade that was made official as of today on the first day that 87% of the league is now available for trade in Dennis Schroeder going to Golden State. I think it will help them. It brings another body back. Whatever they lost with DeAnthony Melton, they get back a solid guard in Schroeder. I don't think it changes the needle a whole lot more than what they're doing. They
just need to score a little bit with him off the floor, Joe. They can't score at all.
But they really have a size issue. That's the problem. They still haven't fixed their size issue when it comes to Golden State. But the fact they made a trade already, and the fact of what it got them, because I think it was Golden State sending DeAnthony Melton's injured contract and a second rounder. And 2 second rounders, I think it was, for was it 2 or 3 second rounders? I'm not quite sure, but
I think it was 2.
It was 2 second rounders for
I'm
one
pretty sure,
second.
I think it was.
For 1 second rounder in Dennis Schroeder. I mean, the price that you had to pay, John, didn't seem that high. I know Dennis was favored by a lot of people for a third time around in a Lakers uniform, and I said, well, if you wanted to go that trouble, you should have just kept him here in the first place.
Yeah.
So with that, but the fact is that they've made a deal already in Golden State. They're aggressive. They've already started that process. I know a lot of people are already on Rob already, as they always are in regards to making trades. I know Laker Tom was really calling him out, to say the least, on yesterday's show. But your thoughts on what the Lakers need to do? I know that it's been said in chat, and I can't say I disagree. Getting some size for the Lakers would really help. But at this point, getting talent on this team would probably be the first thing I would try to get the most.
Absolutely. I think that
just at any position.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I was saying. Like, so originally I was saying, like, all right, let's get this big. Let's get this big. Which I still think we need a big if we want to contend. But I think at this point, like, if we want to contend, we just need to at least be able to be relevant. We need to at least be able to be even in the conversation. And to be in the conversation, you have to have a team that can put you in the conversation. We don't have that team. So let's start building the pieces to go towards that team. Now, this is a whole other conversation that we can go into a loophole, which I think we in every stream end up inevitably getting into, but we're not getting there until we get rid of Bron. Unless Bron says, here you go with this 50 million, like, here, you can have some of it back so we can allocate it to other players in other ways, which is not going to happen. We're not going there. We're not going anywhere as far as being relevant and winning anything. And if that hurts any Lakers fans' heart, I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this, though, before I get it back to Sean. Let me ask you this, since Joe's not here, because I'd love to hear one of his spicy answers on this. Do you think if you're a reporter going in there tonight, obviously you're asking about AD and his injured shoulder, you already hear JJ Redick crediting Max Christie for boosting the team tonight because of his size and athleticism and all that. Would you still be going to LeBron and saying, hey, you were out for personal reasons for quite a few days, and thank you, Search and Destroy. Truly appreciate the awesome super chat. Great job, Lakers fan. Bless all of you. Search, you're the best in the business, and we truly appreciate everything you do for us. Absolutely right here at the Lakers Fast Break. You're the best, my friend. Your thoughts, my friend, on this, John. If you're in that locker room, and I want to hear your thoughts on this too, Sean. Are you asking and confronting LeBron on those personal days off?
So look,
it's all about.
So I'll say this. Nobody in that locker room is, and
I know Joe would.
exactly right. I was gonna say, so nobody in the locker room is because they want to keep their job. It's like it's like imagine you're at your job and your boss calls all the shots, and you know you have like a little slick remark to say to your boss, like, "Oh man, took a couple extra days of PTO or something like that," but you're not gonna say it because you know the job means more than the jab at your boss, right? So nobody in the locker room would. But if we could get somebody in the media room that ain't really tripping off that, I would love it because that's one thing that I hate, guys. And I'm not gonna go on my Kyrie tangent, but that's one thing that I hate. It's like, dude, you can't just fucking say I'm not going to work for personal reasons. It's like that's your job, dude. Like I have a job that I'm gonna go to tomorrow. I can't just call and say, oh man, I'm not gonna come for the next 9 days for personal reasons. Sorry about that. Like what? You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that really pisses me off. It's like I love NBA players, but they get treated like prima donnas, and it's like you think you could just say like, "Oh, personal reasons," like that shit doesn't work. Shit doesn't fucking fly. That's how I feel about it. So it pisses me off, and it's annoying that they still make generational wealth and just choose when to play and when not to play.
Adam, we're gonna have to get rid of some picks and attach some picks along with Gabe if you want to get rid of Gabe, which I'm not saying I would be opposed to. But yeah, if you want Gabe gone, if you want Vando gone, you're going to have, for those bad contracts, you're going to have to go ahead and attach some picks to it. And the Lakers should be using those picks to bring in players as opposed to just use players, use those picks to just get players gone and out of here. That should be the focus right now. Sean, I want to ask you this. Would you be in there asking LeBron exactly what went on in those days? I mean, he's probably going to give you not the answer that you want to hear. He's going to probably be irritated that you asked the answer in the first place. But somebody in there has got to be asking that question. What the hell went on? And, I know that you're saying it's the foot. You went through the shoot around or the walk around. It was kind of iffy, touch and go. But if it's just the foot, why did it have to be personal reasons? Why couldn't you say my foot was hurting and I'm going to stay home?
Yeah, that's a spicy meatball, Gerald.
It is indeed, yes.
Yeah. If it was your foot, we could write on the injury report, your foot. But you didn't say it was your foot. You said personal.
Yeah.
So what was that about? Some Gerald, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but there's actually a bylaw in California, in the state of California, that says if an employer asks an employee, did you take a day off for personal reasons, and they lie, they could be held liable for their salary. Were you aware of that, Gerald?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he decided to take that personal day off, I guess maybe you don't really need your part of your paycheck that month, right?
Yep.
Seems fair.
Seems fair, but you're not going to go walk up to LeBron and
totally fair to me. I
Yeah.
love that, Sean. I would have loved. You know what I love? You know what I love, Sean? If like LeBron came up to you and like told you like, hey, just wanted to give you a heads up. I won't be here for the next 9 games. It's gonna take some personal reasons, got some stuff going on. I would have loved you to, answer this the way you did. Be like, LeBron, totally cool, but just want to fill you in on some information here. Be like, so you won't be getting that check on the 1st and the 15th. Just wanted to let you know. But go ahead, take your days.
You're okay with that, right? Yeah, I can see that. I don't think it would go over very well, but let's see. BD is saying something about my foot is sore from the last Diddy party. Well, that's just going to be attached to everything on that. But my link feels like, okay, something going on in the chat. Sometimes trying to follow the chat is pretty hard. But
I know it's hard tonight.
It's like a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle of a sentence here, a little sprinkle of a sentence there, and it's not piecing itself together all in the same sentence. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. So, Sean, I'll bring it back to you. I want to ask you this again. You saw performance defensively, at least in that first half. That was very good. Obviously, we need to see more of that since we have one of the worst defenses in the NBA. You saw a little bit of effort on that end. Sans LeBron. LeBron, I did note it at one point in time, didn't even, as somebody was driving by, didn't even bother to lift up an arm. An arm! An arm! So, again, it's LeBron is still LeBron. And I don't think anybody's going to be changing that at any point in time. But when you do have a Max Christie out there who does provide some height, not necessarily strength, but height, he was bothering Jaw. He was bothering Bane at times, especially when those guys tried to take it inside. And he should take away from this the kind of confidence we've seen that Dalton Connect currently doesn't have. Even Rodell has seen that in the chat about how Dalton Connect has not been the same player. He does not look very confident at all. He does not. He looks like a shell of the player we once saw. But if that's the case, it seems like this Laker team can only elevate one player at a time, either Dalton or Max. My goal, if I'm the coach, is I'm going to try and get those both those young guys elevated at the same time.
100%, Gerald. And to be fair, the player with the lowest plus minus in the Lakers starting five tonight was, drumroll,
Christie?
LeBron James. He's at a 0.
Again, he's out there sometimes with some lineups.
So to be fair, Gerald, he wasn't a minus. The Lakers were at a minus with him on the floor tonight.
But you saw what we were like on Friday without LeBron in the lineup. So maybe his return, even though he did have an off game, just his presence alone, he did make some key plays down the stretch. Him facing off on a switch against Edie was like, let me go ahead. That's like lunch for him. He hit him up and spit him out both those times. That you got to admit. I mean, even his detractors got to see that, the fact that he took the matchup there and basically was able to go ahead and take it all the way on both those times. But I ask you again, I think the focus of these assistant coaches is trying to get the guys in position to elevate and stay consistent. Consistency has not been something that many of the Lakers have been able to provide. And Dalton Connect and Max Christie, we've been putting them against each other for a while. Wouldn't it be great if they both played well at the same time, consistently, and start putting games together consistently to get the job done?
Yes, Gerald. And that's not asking a lot of professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the best explanation I've ever heard is this. A professional is your job. A pro is how you handle it. And like you said, Gerald, it works both ways. The coaches have put in a lot of time, hours, and effort to try and make both Max and Dalton functional, productive players. And Dalton is colder than a witch's you-know-what from 3 the past month. And at times it seems that Max's confidence wavers from very high to, probably average. And it's not asking a lot for consistency. This is what you get paid millions of dollars for. And it's all in how you handle it. And I will say this, the scheme tonight worked very well, Gerald. Did you also notice that on most of the Lakers' 3-point attempts, there was at least 2 people beyond the 3-point line, and there was also a trailer rushing back from beyond the foul line or below to get back on defense, which helped prevent Memphis from getting into their rhythm offensively. They live off the fast break.
And the Lakers are one of the worst transition defenses in the NBA.
Oh, and by the way, another kind of weird factoid, Gerald. Two former Lakers tonight who, by the way, former Lakers just love roasting us, especially at the Staples or Crypt. Jay Huff and Scottie Pippen Jr. were combined 2 for 7 tonight.
Yeah, not good games by them, but they've had good seasons overall. In fact, Scottie Pippen Jr. might have made himself some money on the open market for this summer. I believe he's a free agent. And then
Cool.
Jay Huff signed that extension. He basically was a two-way player for them, and then suddenly, after about a week, got a full 4-year extension from the club.
Gerald, who would you give most improved player, Tariq Eason or Scottie Pippen Jr.?
Oh, Tari Eason, because Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah.
doesn't get consistent playing time, because as soon as Ja Morant comes back, healthy, he doesn't play a lot.
No, Jaws backup. Yeah, exactly. Jaws backups, but a well-rounded season from him. But yeah, I agree. Eason has been the most improved player.
So, John, let me get you back in here, my friend. And once again, the Lakers do win 116-110. It is, of course, John Costa, the mastermind behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, along with the Magic Man, Sean Grice, and me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. The ham take is something. 805 says Darvin Ham is the Phil Jackson for the NBA Cup tournament. Oh, because of the fact that Milwaukee is going to the finals, yes, and whatnot. Thameless says Huff and Pippen try harder against us, but it doesn't mean we should have kept them. I don't know. Based on what we have, Thameless, I think we should have definitely kept Huff. I was against it at the time. Scottie Pippen, I was wrong on because I didn't think he was an NBA level player, and I was certainly wrong on that. But at least he didn't show it when he was the Lakers. He was too reckless, out of control, looked like he was too small and couldn't shoot. But obviously he's been able to rectify a lot of that with the right patience and time, John. And the thing is, we see Memphis, they're high up in the Western Conference, but because they have patience, they're willing to develop players. They're willing to try and see what they can see what they have and try to develop what they have. Whereas the Lakers, they are not showing any patience. JJ is all over the place with a new starting lineup, seemingly almost every game. Seemingly a new rotation piece every game. And I mean, he's a rookie coach himself. He's going through his ups and downs. Tonight, can he take anything from this as far as solidifying the rotation so that we can actually start getting some consistency, hopefully, out of these guys anytime soon?
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be hard to find consistency if you keep switching lineups. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my opinion, that was one of the biggest problems with Darvin Ham, is that he would just players on the team, and I'm pretty sure Austin Reeves came out and said this. Like, players on the team felt that like they didn't know what their role was. They didn't know what they were supposed to do. They were lost, and that's because there was no continuity. You didn't know what your role from game to game was going to be, and I don't want to see JJ Redick go down that path, especially because I backed him so much. So we'd love for JJ Redick to get right back on the path of just understanding that, look, if your players don't know what their role is coming to the night, like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example right here, okay? Let me give you a perfect example. If I'm on a team and I'm on a team with Kobe Bryant and LeBron James and Michael Jordan, for example, right? I'm not gonna fucking shoot the ball. So why am I gonna go practice shooting 30-footers when I could just practice making great passes? Because that's what I'm gonna be doing, right? But I don't know that if I don't know my role on the team, right? And I think that that's on a coach to say, hey, on this team, this is what I need you to do. I need you to specialize in catch and shoot. So on your off time, be on that gun, catch and shoot, catch and shoot. I need you to specialize in getting to the hoop and putting the pressure on the defense. So on your off time, work on your first step, work on getting to the hoop, work on getting to, like, you got to work on these kind of things. And it's frustrating because JJ not really doing that. Players are feeling confused, similar to Darvin Ham. JJ Redick, I know it's your first year, but come on, baby boy, don't make me look bad.
Rodell says it's very hard to develop players in LA. It's a huge spotlight. Some veterans come to the Lakers and can't perform. See Russell
Facts.
Westbrook. Well,
And,
he was
and one more thing I will say to Rodell's point, it is very hard to develop players in LA because you know why? We got a dumb management, and all they want to do is be in the highlights. They want to be on in the news front, and they want to be relevant. So they don't want to have to go through a rebuilding stage. They don't want to have to go through a stage where you got to be bad and build up. They want to always be in the let's just trade. They're trying to rush too much. You can't rush the process. You can't rush greatness, guys. You can't rush greatness.
I don't know if I would say Russell Westbrook because, yes, he did look bad for the Lakers. He did look bad for the Clippers, but he's from LA. He played for UCLA. So why would he be afraid of the LA Lights?
Because they're judgmental. I ain't gonna lie.
But he's a very opinionated individual, Russell Westbrook is. Is it because of the fact that, can we just say for the fact that the way that the Lakers wanted to utilize him was just absolutely awful and his game does not fit with what our team was doing? Let's just put it that way. You see what he's doing in Denver. He's playing pretty solid for them right now. He is having sometimes his Russell Westbrook games, but he is playing with Joker. And that just tells you because Joker helps a lot of players out, whether they're a bad fit on other teams or not. So, yeah, I don't think I would say Rodell used Russell Westbrook as your example. I do say the first part of your sentence, your paragraph, is a huge spotlight. I would give you credit on that one. But, yeah, Russell Westbrook I wouldn't put on that, especially because he is from L.A. and probably would know it more than anyone else. Sean, let me get you back in here again. It is the Lakers winning 116 and 110. Of course, the Lakers get several days off. The last time we had several days off last week, the Lakers seemingly made the news each and every day for altogether the wrong reasons. Do you expect a quieter 3 days off now, a few days off now that the Lakers can go ahead and finally focus in on basketball, maybe focus in 100% on getting a little bit healthier, focus in on getting a little practice done, and maybe going to Sacramento and at least splitting those two games?
I think those are all possibilities, Gerald. Yes, I think it'll be good for them to just for now just focus on playing together as a unit. I mean, for goodness sakes, that starting five has probably practiced less than a handful of times together, so they're going to need more minutes. And Gerald, just a few minutes ago, Jovan Buha reported that the question was asked, and this is in reference to what John was saying about the different starting lineups. JJ Redick was asked what prompted his decision to insert Max Christie into the starting lineup, and his answer was he is looking for a complementary player to put beside Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Rui Hashimura, and Anthony Davis, and he decided on Max Christie.
I got a great one for you. He's a good old white boy called Dalton Connect.
Well,
That's
we
crazy.
can't go that because somebody called out Joe the other day, for saying that again. It just, I don't want to get into semantics on that. We had
a white boy? I'm sorry.
yeah, because Joe said the only two players he wanted to keep were Austin Reeves and Dalton.
He did not.
He did. So that's.
He
again,
did that on purpose. He did that on purpose.
I think everybody on the Lakers should be eligible, should be trade eligible. I think right now, even AD, because if this team, you really think that the Lakers are going to be able to get to a championship? Do you really think the Lakers are going to get above 9 teams in the Western Conference by the end of the playoffs?
I will say, No, I do not. No, I do not, Gerald.
Then you should put everything out there on the table to improve your team, and that includes trading AD for a huge blockbuster trade that could help your franchise going forward.
That's fair. That's fair, Gerald. That is fair. And honestly, I would only part with AD and Dalton Connect if it was for a player of that caliber. It has to be for a superstar.
Okay. Well, again, you guys got to realize the Lakers are a 500 team or thereabouts.
So's the half of the NBA is 500.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Sean.
Who did you call? Nick T says you called someone out for blasphemy, but I appreciate the $2 nonetheless. Yes.
Joe's gonna pay a fine.
Must be Joe. Oh, you called him out for. Oh, that was it. Yeah, Nick. It was you that called Joe out for the blasphemy for the him noting just the 2 white players. Yes, that he would keep. So that was it. Yeah. So it is what it is. You have your opinions, or have not. But again, I think at this point, when you have a team that's this close to 500, it does not look like it's going to be something that you can repair and get to the point, even with a fix, John, where you can say, okay, the Lakers do get a backup center, or they get a Jonas Valanciunas, or a Vucevic, or a Robert Williams, or they get like a Cam Johnson. Brings you up a couple places in the standings. Still makes you what, 8th as of now? 7th?
We're 10th.
Yeah. So no, but let's say you get a Cam Johnson. Let's say you get a Vucevic let's say you throw away the 2 first-round picks and you spend them. Say you throw away your seconds. Just say you get, you trade D'Lo's contract, John and Sean. What does it really get you? How good or how much better does it make your team? Are you willing to go ahead and make those cuts just to make the team incrementally better? Because again, you're talking about 10th place in the Western Conference as of now. So what kind of move do you realistically think that's going to get you into a championship slot coming up in less than 6 months?
I don't see one.
Look, guys, we have the channel, so we got to keep going. We got to keep bringing some type of content, but we know we're not going nowhere until LeBron leaves. Like I think we can all decide this. Like we're literally not, like there's nothing we could do. There's just like he put us between a rock and a hard place. It's a great book right there.
Yes. Well, and Sharon says you only have 2 legitimate starters. The rest are questionable. That includes Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, he's not shooting great on the season, only shooting at 35% from 3. He's shooting us, getting you a solid 17 points a game. It's solid. But then again, would he serve you better if he was coming off the bench? Is that the type of player at your point or shooting guard that is really going to take this team to the next level? I mean, you guys got to, when you talk about these evaluations of your team or you talk about adding this player and that player, you got to ask yourself, does it move your team into a position where you want them to be? And knowing Lakers fans, Sean and John, that you guys know them as, and you get on your feedback as far as in your comments, John and Sean, it's the same thing. They want this team to be a world championship team every single year. So with what assets we have that's not named Anthony Davis, what kind of realistic trade can you make that's going to move you into a spot that's going to, let's just say even the top 4, okay? Because if you're a playing team, you're not going to make the championship series. The Lakers probably did 2 years ago about the best any playing team that's going to do for quite some time. So your thoughts, I'm going to start with you first, Sean. I mean, when you go out and you say Rob's going to make a trade, Rob's got to do this, Rob's going to do this, do that. First of all, I don't have much faith in Rob making a good series of moves anyways that'll get this team back into contention. But even if that's the case, what moves realistically are out there that you think will actually get that team to the summit, Sean?
None. There aren't any realistic options this year, Gerald. It feels like we're Christopher from District 9, one of the prawns, who's lost the fuel to get back home, and you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's what this feels like. Realistically, you might be able to convince the Washington Wizards to take on Gabe Vincent's bad contract and a couple of second-round picks for Jonas Valanciunas.
wait up here, Sean, before you go. Sharon might have an issue with you. You can't be running off, which you can't be making comments and you be running off like that, John. So you got to be here to defend yourself. Woo!
Who?
Running off.
Yes. Well, he has to go do his post game for his
What
chat.
happened? Wait, Sharon.
in the
Sharon
chat-
said something about me. What did he say?
In the chat, she says, "You're crazy to blame LeBron. You can't give away the rest of these players." What does this get, Sharon? I'm going to tell you, and to be honest with you, the window has closed with LeBron and AD as far as a championship. LeBron is pushing 40. He can't give you what he needs to give you every single game. AD is an asset at 32 who's not getting, or 31 who's not getting any younger. He is in the position right now where you could trade and get a myriad of assets that can help build your team for the next 10 years. These are things that you got to understand that, do you want to go ahead and play for play-ins each and every year? Fine. We can keep on doing that. We can keep on doing that until LeBron and AD leave. But this is not just all LeBron's fault. It's not just all AD's fault. It's not it's the whole organization's fault for putting everybody together. Rob and Jeannie especially get a part of that for putting this team in the position that they're at. But John, Sharon has her comments there, and I respectfully say she's has very pointed issues that she needs to be addressed with. Don't run off. So we want to hear your thoughts. I think she has a very valid point in some cases because it all just can't be on LeBron. I think she has a very valid point on that. It's not all LeBron's fault for everything, even though a lot of people say it's always LeBron's fault.
And it's not. And this is the thing that's funny, right? It's because like somebody like Sharon B will write a comment like that and not realize that I'm the biggest LeBron fan that you probably ever met. But I'm just a realist. I'm a realist. The time that LeBron took 50 mil and put us in a situation where we can't go get nothing else, when he's making more money off the court, when he could have been, it would have made no difference in his life financially. Kids would have been good, generationally would have been good. None of that would have changed.
Well, he did say he was going to make a cut, but it was only with the right player. With the right player, yeah.
Exactly, right? So you're right. You're right, Sharon B. This is not all on LeBron. And I've never put it all on LeBron. But what I said is that we are handicapped with LeBron at 40 years old making this 50 mil. That's just the facts. If you can't handle it, brother, this isn't the sport for you, because I'm the biggest LeBron advocate, and I can agree to that. I think LeBron's the greatest player of all time. But that doesn't mean that the move that he made was one of the dumbest moves of all time. Because I'm a Lakers fan before I'm a LeBron fan. And I'm just trying to tell y'all that until LeBron leaves and until we get this money off this contract, or until we can actually do something of value, and we can't do it with having that 50 mil tied up, we're not going anywhere. And which is why I say, if y'all want to, exactly what Gerald said, if you want to be the freaking Portland Trailblazers and be first round exits every year, by all means, go ahead. But Sharon, I don't know if you're a girl or a boy or baby girl. I don't want that. I'm competing for championships. Okay. So I'd rather hit the total reset as soon as we can, so that we can get there as soon as.
But I don't blame Sharon for
I don't either. I don't blame Sharon either.
This is a
multiple-pronged problem. This is a multiple-pronged. This starts with Jeannie. Jeannie allows LeBron to have the Lakers organization, right? And that's her fault. It's her organization.
I don't respect. I respect her and everybody else that says, we got to keep LeBron and AD and just build a better team around them. Well, it's easier said than done, because again, LeBron and AD did get us a championship 5 seasons ago. But the problem is LeBron and AD got us a championship 5 seasons ago, and it's not gotten any older. It's not gotten any fresher. Part of it is because, injuries. Part of it is because of been poor decision-making by Rob Pelinka with the Westbrook trade, as Rodell noted. Obviously, it's the worst trade, or one of the worst trades in Lakers history. That speaks for itself. But again, it's, I don't blame Sharon for thinking that we can still build around LeBron and AD. You see the moments when LeBron and AD can still play together at a high level. The problem with me at saying is, I don't think right now with the current makeup of the team, which isn't going to improve by a whole lot, it's going to get where Sharon, where myself, where Rodell, where Sean, where you, or anybody out there is actually going to think that we want them to go, and that's a championship. I'm not resigned to having this team and feeling great about this team finishing in 4th or 5th place or 6th place and thinking that's a success story. I'm a Lakers fan, and now I've become spoiled like the rest of you guys. I want championships. That's all I want is championships. I see Boston at the top of the East or near the top of the East, ready to get one more championship away from us. So
Which
that
pisses
irritates
me
me
off.
to no end. Yeah, it irritates me as well to no end. So I'm just saying that maybe we should start considering more and more what Stone Hansen said a couple seasons ago, guys, in that maybe you blow up the team so we could rebuild this team faster to be more competitive at a higher level faster. You see what OKC did. Remember, OKC was a team in the playoffs in the bubble. They tanked for a couple years. They made the right picks at the right time. They got a myriad of assets, and look at them now, top of the Western Conference. Houston Rockets, miserable for a couple years, found the right coach, found the right mix of players, and they're the top 5 in the Western Conference right now. Who could also be one move away from getting a top player and being even better. We're not one move away. We're not even probably 2 moves away from being at that level, Sean. And that's what really concerns me. Let's get it back to you, Magic Man. I mean, at this point, that's what we say. Oh, go, John. You're going to head out, or
Yep. Yeah. I do got to head out to get this
okay?
get this recap going here. But I appreciate
And
everybody checking
no
me out.
worries. No worries. And Sharon, you're right. The Lakers were absolutely terrible. Joe pointed it out the other day. I mean, they've only had one 50-win season under Genie, and they've had more losing seasons than they had winning seasons with Genie as ownership. But with LeBron can only take you so far, and as his skills and age, the age goes up and the skills decline. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any prettier. I mean, maybe if the Lakers do well here, get a lucky break there, we're talking about another 8th seed again. But you see where that gets us. That doesn't get us anywhere. That just gets us more in pain. The ability we can't draft, we can't we can't trade for major assets. We can't do things that other teams can because we're restricted with the salary cap. We're restricted with, not just LeBron's 50 million or AD's 50. Again, you have superstar players like this. They were good together. They were great together. They were a championship level team at one time together. The problem is, I think at some point in time, we just have to think about letting go, moving on, reevaluating this team and saying, you know what, in order to get the team to where we want them to get them, we have to make some major decisions that might not make everyone happy, Sean.
Again, as you germanely said, it's not going to be a trade. It's going to unfortunately have to be a series of trades and or free agent signings that create a contender for the Lakers. Now, just as an example, Gerald, just as an example, 3 players who could significantly help you rise in the Western Conference are Jonas Valanciunas, Cam Johnson, and Zion Williamson. Now, you can acquire maybe one of those players this year, but asking the Lakers to acquire 2 or 3 is, looking for a needle in a haystack. It's a difficult proposition. We're also dealing with other GMs as well, Gerald, who have their marching orders from ownership about whether or not they can absorb more money or less money or how much money is coming in. As you said before, Gerald, we're operating in a different environment, and within that environment, there are different climates on which mid-level, high-level, small market NBA teams operate on a budget. We all operate on a budget, Gerald. All 30 teams, and it's dependent on Pelinka to really get a sense of urgency here, because I don't see it, honestly, Gerald. I don't see a sense of urgency that he's trying to work the phones or work people over and over again to try and consummate a deal that would make the Lakers better. It hasn't materialized. I just don't see it happening. Uh, and in order for that series of moves to happen, it's going to take at least 2 seasons. So that would be this season and another season. And that would likely be the end of the LeBron James era.
Well, Sharon has some great points. And again, Rodell has some good points too as well. You guys are all at BTS. I get it that, Jeannie inherited a mess back in the day, but you got to give them credit. They did build a championship winning team. The problem is, you stay with that. We've seen this before in sports, Sean, where a team stays too long with the same players that got them to a title. They get old, or the surrounding pieces, they go greener pastures, or you start making some trades that kind of whittle at the depth. And we saw it. The Lakers were able to make a couple trades, got them in the mix as far as that Western Conference championship run. But then the next year, not quite as well. Got a first round exit. It's not heading in the right direction, Sean. And I'm kind of worried how long you're going to continue enjoy being 8th or 9th, having to come, win so many games at the end of the season like we had to do the past 2 seasons just to get even in the play-in mix. It just seems like right now maybe the teams have passed us on by, and if we don't do something to try and rebuild and get to a place where we need to start making better decisions with personnel, that we're going to be like this for a while. And this is going to be like LeBron and 80s legacy. It's like you guys always being mad at LeBron, you guys always being mad at him for this and that. It just seems like, that's where we're at right now. Because I read the hostility about LeBron each and every day from you guys. And it's just sad because he is, like John says, one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, you guys can say no, yes, what have you. Whether or not he's your GOAT, whatever you guys want. That's fine. Again, that's semantics. That's your guys' decision on who you think is, and your guys' opinion, and rightly so, on who you think is the GOAT of all time. But I think with me, it just comes down to the point where there's a window. And the problem is, are you afraid to close that window at the right time or let it go on after their peak and after when you could have made moves, when you could have helped this team, and how it affects you long term? Because let's say you don't trade AD and he retires, or you trade AD long after he's not the player he is now. LeBron's already gone. You haven't replaced him with a star player. That's not a good sign for the long term, especially with a team with depleted assets like the Lakers have.
No, it's not, Gerald. And just a point of emphasis on what your thoughts were originally. Ladies and gentlemen of the Lakers Fast Break community and family, Gerald was right and Joe was wrong. I'll repeat that again. About Bronny James, Gerald was right and Joe was wrong. According to a recent report, Gerald, the Lakers have accumulated over $50 million off of Bronny James jersey sales alone. 50 million. Now, according to some reports, Jeannie Buss's net worth, Gerald, is estimated to be anywhere from 500 to 600 million. And as you said, he's going to make them a lot of money. And he already has. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like Jeannie's going to put that back in the coffers for spending on free agents or trades to make the Lakers a better product, because she's happy with the way things are, Gerald.
Again, and Bloodhound, is their cap situation good? No. Even if D'Lo comes off the books, is it good? No, at this point, no, not at all. And the problem is with that, it's going to be harder for the team to rebuild unless they trade AD and get a lot of those assets. And, it'll be a shame because AD has been great for us, but at some point you have to make hard decisions. You have to make hard calls. And Sharon and I were going back and forth on the Bronny thing, but I respected her opinion. You know what? it's been a brilliant financial move for Jeannie Buss. 500,000 jerseys, Bronny jerseys that have been sold. It speaks for itself. We talked about Bronny and whether or not he should have been drafted at the spot. I would have put it, if he would have been a two-way, he still would have sold those 500,000 jerseys. But is there a player that's better than Bronny that could have been drafted at the spot or was a free agent? Right now, nobody has really started to rise up to say, okay, I got you. They shouldn't have got Bronny there. So there's no player yet that Joe can say, even in his tirades, there's no player yet that Joe can say, man, we should have drafted him instead of Bronny. So there's no player that's emerged yet. That's why I'm watching Hooporty in New York. That's why I'm watching a couple other guys. But again, nobody has stood out yet. But when you are, I think the fact that as I said to Sharon, the fact that he got the 4-year deal and there's no player in and around his draft area that got that same 4-year deal. Like the closest to that was about 8 to 9 spots up, I think, in the draft, got a 3-year deal and then a 4-year deal right above it. That's what kind of concerns me. It's the optics. Sometimes it's the optics. But again, this team is saying that they do it because they believe in Bronny. You can say what you want. They did it because of LeBron. Whether or not Bronny matures enough and grows into a regular player or regular rotation player in the league, we'll have to wait and see. I still have my doubts about that. Again, he's terrible from 3, and unless he proves that, it's going to be really hard for him to grow in the league. But again, we're arguing over semantics. It is the Lakers. It is something that we have to deal with. LeBron James is part of it. As much as we applaud him and laud him when he gets those 39-point triple doubles like he did in Atlanta, you're going to see games that he's awful, like tonight, that he just doesn't have it. But tonight, I don't blame him for anything as much I don't blame him as much for anything that he didn't do tonight as far as his hustle, his effort, which he didn't give you on the defensive end. He was off a week. I'm going to say that foot is really bothering him. I'm going to give him a pass because the Lakers won this time. It's not great that he does that. I'm still concerned because, again, his effort on the defensive end really is starting to annoy me. I know Darren can't stand it. When he talks on his thing, he's going to send me some notes or comments later on talking about this and that. But again, the Lakers got it done. You see what the kind of effect that LeBron has, even a LeBron that's not having the greatest of games. This team is it's like in a rock and a hard place with LeBron James. You can't live with them and you can't live without him. And I think that's the problem right now the Lakers are having.
Yeah, Gerald. Unfortunately, it's the worst of a possible best situation. And the best of times was 2019, 2020. And now we're at the worst of times with a loaded contract on a player who's
the Bronny contract is just a cheap contract. It's not much of a contract, so okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he's making the same as Jose Alvarado from
less than that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So but again, Gerald, it is between a rock and a hard place. The Lakers do not have any wiggle room. There's none. I know we've kind of been pounding that drum for 2 years, and it looks like we'll be pounding it for at least one more, maybe 2 more. But there is no wiggle room at all. They're hanging on by a thread with the salary cap, skin and bones, basically, to try and improve the team. And they could on the margins improve by multiple moves. But like you said, Gerald, that's also not in Rob Pelinka's nature as an executive. The only time he's made multiple moves is in the off season or in season when the Lakers were tanking. That's the only time he's made a series of moves consecutively.
Well, let me just say this, Magic. I know BTS is like, why did you break up the 2020 team? We could have had. Joe says he thinks he could have, possibly could have had another title in 21 had AD stay healthy, or, just again, mistakes by Rob at the front office notwithstanding. Again, if I wouldn't have much of a problem with Bronny at all, Sharon and everyone out there, if the Lakers had more depth, if they had a GM that would build a team with quality pieces that can contribute on both ends of the floor behind them. I think that's the problem, though. They don't have consistent pieces that can give you consistency. I know I said that twice, on both ends of the floor. When you have a JTS, a Maxwell Lewis, you have a Cam Reddish who you saw going to the basket tonight was like another adventure. What is this? What is this, Magic Man? I don't get it. What was that? Amazing. When you have those players, you have a Gabe Vincent, you have a Jared Vanderbilt, you have those guys that are giving Christian Wood, you have those guys that are giving you absolutely, and I said Maxwell Lewis, I think too. Yeah, you have those guys that are giving you nothing or next to nothing on the floor. That makes the Bronny James thing stick out even more. Now, if this team had a depth, like, whatever team that you want to stay, whether it's a Golden State, Memphis, whether it's a Houston, or whether it's OKC that has a quality depth where it's, man 1 to 11 or 12 that could contribute and give you good minutes, that doesn't really make a difference. But I think that's why I constantly, and Joe constantly talks about, why the irritation is there that Bronny was drafted the way he was, because the Lakers just have made so many mistakes. Rob has made so many mistakes in evaluation. And the fact is, now we're in trading season and we don't know how much he can really facilitate in a trade, because the fact, as was noted by Bloodhound, he is 30,000 away from the second tax apron. He has managed to go ahead and blunder his way against a wall, leaving it much more difficult for him to improve this team the way you guys and we want him to.
Yes, he's made it significantly harder on himself, Gerald,
Yes.
and he only has himself to blame. Look, I don't think a series of moves are going to make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think you should buy some magic beans with those first round picks either.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just stay neutral, Gerald. And if somebody wants to call up Rob and offer him a deal, that's what I think.
Even as for AD, just listen. Right, Sean?
100%, Joe. We really didn't get to discuss this the other night with the panel being as big as it was, but Gerald, as we both noted, the salary cap in the NBA is about to go up significantly.
Mm-hmm.
His contract will eat up less and less of a percentage the longer. He's still got 3 years on that deal.
Yes.
And if you're looking at somebody like, say, I don't know, Zion Williamson, who's making upwards to 45, 46 million towards the end of his contract. AD's making 36, 38, 40. He's still productive. Instead of eating up 28% of your salary cap, he's only eating up 21, and you can also build depth around that, which is also another kick in the keister drill, because whoever acquires him is getting him on a dime of a contract, and they'll be able to add depth around what they want to build. That being said, it's the right move to just listen. Just be open-minded enough to just listen to what somebody has to say, because at this point, Gerald, what is Anthony Davis worth? What would be acceptable to GM Gerald Glassford of the Los Angeles Lakers? I'm offering you Anthony Davis. What are you offering me?
Let's obviously
I would want one of the top 3 of your best prospects, at least one.
I would have
I-
to offer you at least 5 picks in return because the Bridges trade and the Gobert trade.
Yeah.
That's probably given right there. Maybe a pick swap on top of it, and then give you just by salary matching. I would have to give you at least one of my better players on the team, like you said, like your top 3, just by the fact that I would have to let's say it's like OKC. Yeah, I could give you a Hartenstein who fills up a nice bit of that chunk of that salary. I would still have to give you like a Williams, the good Williams. Well, the better Williams, I should say.
Yeah, the
Not the
J
good.
Lin,
Yes, yes.
LIN,
The Santa Clara,
LIN.
the
Yeah.
Santa Clara Williams, and
Yes.
maybe one more young player. Throw that in, and that would probably be very interesting for you if I could throw that at you. Or if I'm Houston, again, you're talking about a bundle of picks and then throw any number of wings out at you as well. I don't know if I'd give up Shingun. The thing is, maybe you could talk me into that, but it'd have to really be something that AD is okay. If you're going to give me AD, I give you Shingun. It may just have to be Shingun and some filler if that's the case. So plus the picks. So again, again, that's a tough situation. I don't think the Lakers are going to do it anytime soon. Do I think they're going to go ahead and go that route this year? No, I don't think they're going. I think they, again, Sharon, I don't think anybody has anything to worry about as far as for any Sharon or anyone else that's worried about AD being traded, because I don't think he's going to be traded. No matter how much Stone or Joe or me or anybody say about rebuilding, it's not going to happen. I don't think, unless something really goes awry in Lakers land. The Lakers are now in this period. They want to compete. They still want to try and win. Of course, you're going to see probably some trades or moves or deals probably around the fringes for the Lakers, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's what I would like to do, and what will actually be done are probably going to be 2 different things in Lakers land, Sean.
I agree, Gerald. I agree. It's Gerald, we're just going to. It's best in life when you go with the flow, and part of going with the flow means accepting the things you cannot control. And we can't control how fast or how slow a Lakers trade manifests. We can't turn water into wine, and Pelinka can't either, even though he probably thinks he could from 2019, 2020. This is a frustrating watch because we kind of know the ending, unfortunately. That being said, there's still a series of moves that can be made to improve the team for this year and beyond. I'm not optimistic that Pelinka is going to be able to pull any of them off. That being said, always keep an open mind. A part of keeping an open mind is having no real expectations, because you can't be disappointed or elated with either result if you don't have any expectations. And that's the advice I give to fellow Laker fans this year is don't have any expectations, either positively or negatively, especially when it comes to trades. I doubt LeBron gets traded. I seriously doubt AD gets traded. I'm with Gerald on both of those accounts. So,
Well, he did talk about LeBron James. Excuse me, I'm sorry. His mental challenge of his 22nd season and how he spent his 8 days away. So somebody did ask him on that. I'm very surprised. So hopefully he clarified why he was having the issues that he went through. But LeBron, it was retweeted. So if you want to check it out, it's at Lakers Fast Break. But Sean, again, he's going. Even LeBron is having some challenging times in his 22nd season.
100% Gerald. We could see the light is dimming on this brilliant, transformative career. The haters are going to really need some flower and singing when he retires, because there will never be another LeBron James, and there will be an athlete never again who you troll as hard and as fierce. is one LeBron James.
Father Time, Search. Father Time. It has. It's undefeated. So that it is. But before we head on out, Sean, I wanted to go ahead and try to put this thing on a lighter note. Again, the Lakers win 116-110. We always seem to go towards the other side, even when the Lakers win, because, this team for everyone out there at 14-12 is not where everybody wants them to be. But, they do get the victory tonight. Maybe they've latched on to something, although we've said that before when Austin Adilo did well, then Connect did well. Now Max Christie and providing some defense has done well. He'll probably get the call and assignment on Thursday against Fox, De'Aaron Fox. So we'll see how it goes from there. But again, trying to provide some type of positivity on this. I think they can go in Sacramento and split. And if they get 2 in Sacramento, I think it'll provide some heat on Sacramento. But it might help the Lakers close out the year on a better note than expected.
I think that if you won that doubleheader, that could propel you into a winning streak to end out the year, and that would be something positive and something that you can call progress, which is all we're looking for right now as Laker fans, is some progress out on the court.
I do want to make sure everybody knows Anthony Davis on his shoulder tonight. He did fall on it, but he's reporting it's just a little stinger. Went in the back, got some work done, have 4 fouls anyways, so it was time for me to go out. He says it's sore, but he was able to play well in the fourth quarter regardless. But the 3 days off comes at a good time for AD, allows him to rest that shoulder, LeBron to rest that foot a little more. I think the Lakers, if they're going to take the game in Sacramento, I think the best one that they could take is the one upcoming on Thursday, Sean. I really think I said that before last week, that 4 days off, fresh as a daisy, didn't work out then. But I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to say 3 days off, Sean. I think they'll go in there fresh. I think they'll go in there strong. I think they'll go ready in there against Sacramento. God, I hope I'm right that time.
I think so, Gerald. I agree. I think there's less of a probability of them getting run out of the gym, which is normally what happens when the NBA schedules the Lakers to go into Sacramento, is usually on a back-to-back when their legs are chilly and the Kings are on fire. I expect the Lakers to come out with a purpose on Thursday, and I don't think it'll be a wire-to-wire victory, but I really do think we'll come out with a W. I agree. I think a split is in order.
Thank you, Sharon. Great having you in the chat. Great having everyone in the chat. It is the Lakers Fast Break. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe if you haven't already to go ahead and get the notifications on when we go live on the air. Going to try and do something late Monday. I do have tickets for the game, the Raiders. So if it's the Raiders, I might be gone by the first quarter. Sorry, Sean, I had to say that. But yeah, because there's
it's true.
Yes, yeah, there's transportation that if you get on it early, it'll get you back home early. But if that's the case, I might go on earlier. But most likely it'll be a late show if we go on. Joe, I don't know what went on. He was part of our coverage on playback.tv. He was in the chat. I think he's probably mobile at this point in time. I'll try to reach out. If he does do a nightcap, hopefully it's in the next few minutes, but I don't think it will be. But we'll try to figure out what's going on with Joe and get him back on here ASAP. But Sean, any last thoughts? Kurt Affair, you're so funny. Any last thoughts, Sean, before we head on out? Well, welcome to our new subscriber, by the way, Kurt Affair. Mm-hmm. Yes. Great to have you here. Never seen your name before.
Great to have you here, Kurt Affair.
Yeah, newbie. There you go. All right.
On that note, Kurt Affair, stay tuned for the next episode of Lakers Fast Break.
There you go. Definitely going to be here on Tuesday. We'll see what we can do about Monday. But truly great to have you here. Xbox, I know you were doing some work. Looking forward to getting you back on the air as well. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you very soon. It is the Lakers winning 116-110. Thank you, Magic Man, for all the great work that you did, along with John Costa. Clutch Talk on Lakers Corner. Please subscribe. And also Xbox as well on Playback. So for Sean, Magic Man Grice, it's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. And we'll be back tomorrow late, maybe. I'll schedule it if I can, but definitely back on Tuesday, giving you more of what you need right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!